And Shelby. We are super excited about today. Woo!
We're so excited.
Oh my God. Wow. Man, listen, we gonna jump right into this thing. Of course, off mic, we start talking and we just kind of flow. So Shelby, of course, I asked her to share with me her experience. She just recently went out of town and came back, and she ran into some issues that was very trying. So I asked her a question, and I said, "Hey, what happened? How did you feel when you were stranded in certain areas?" And the word patience came about. So we'll be talking about patience today, and I'm quite sure this is going to touch a lot of people, but also it's going to step on a lot of toes.
Including mine. What's out the gate?
Yes, a lot of toes, especially mine as well. One thing I do want to open up with is a particular scripture I had shared with Shelby that in the book of Psalms chapter 40, David wrote in there, the very first verse, it says, "I waited patiently on the Lord, and he inclined his ear to hear me." Now, that's so intriguing when you look at how David stated that sentence. From an English standpoint, I loved English in school. And so I see the noun, I see the verb, waited. Now, this adverb is where I have a problem. Sometimes we don't wait patiently.
No. I think most of the time we don't wait patiently.
Uh-oh. She said it.
Yeah.
Share with us. If you know something about that, share with us how many times you probably didn't wait patiently.
I don't think I've ever waited patiently, if I'm absolutely honest.
Wow.
I waited for things I didn't know were coming, and then they all of a sudden appeared, and I didn't have to wait, right? There was no patience involved.
Gotcha.
No, I am not a patient person. I've gotten better, and I do think with maturity you do get better, but still. Sorry about that. I just don't. It's a difficult thing. Patience is a really difficult thing.
But are we taught to be impatient when we're
Yes.
kids?
Yes. I think most of us are. Some of us are not. I think there's children that are taught they have to wait for things.
I feel like that. I had an opportunity, you all, to be with Shelby and serve with her around Christmas time. And every time I think about Christmas, I think about impatience. Because children, I know I could not wait
Oh,
to the
yeah.
day. I was like, trying to cut the paper.
Oh, yeah. Stick it back together.
Tell it on myself.
I didn't cheat.
Cut the paper, peek into it, lift it up, shake it, do something, whatever, because I wanted to know what the gift was, and I couldn't wait. And I know that day was coming, but I didn't want to wait. So were we taught as kids to be impatient?
I think maybe it's an inherent thing. Plus, with the spiritual, the enemy doesn't want you being patient. He doesn't want you waiting. He wants to twist you. He wants you to get all up in your own business and be like, I want it now.
Wow.
I don't want to wait. So I think it's more of a spiritual thing than it is an actual.
So here's a question. You grew up in the church. To be there, what was the thing that you saw that allowed you to not be patient in church?
Well, if I'm honest, I didn't go to church.
Okay.
We were, what is that? Christmas and Easter only CEOs.
My God. There it is.
So we did not go to church, but I was raised with great faith because my mother taught us.
Okay.
So, but I think with regards to the church, I don't know that patience is taught.
I don't think so.
I mean, scripturally it should be, but so should spiritual warfare, and that's not taught either. So.
Wow. I grew up in the church. I mean, from a kid all the way up, and I can recall the times where we would wait, and we would get impatient waiting for certain things to happen in the church. Let's say if the pastor was preaching, and when he get excited preaching, we was waiting on that time. So that was impatience. We were waiting to eat afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Waiting for it to be over with.
That was impatience. Like, I can name a number of things that we were very impatiently waiting to do.
Right.
So I can't say I was ever taught patience. It hit me when I got older that I had to learn how to be patient, but I don't think I was ever taught.
Yeah. I think when we're children, we don't understand that patience is kind of a byproduct of other people in your life. Because when we're a kid, like, we can throw a fit and we get what we want, right?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, ain't that babies though?
Yeah, but babies, that's how we start, right? When we're hungry, we cry. Or when we're a mess, we cry. Because that gets us the attention. So maybe that's where it starts.
Wow.
But even as a toddler or whatever, if you pitch a fit, half the time you get what you're needing, right, or wanting.
He's preaching.
And then as we get older,
If we pitch a fit.
sometimes if we pitch a fit, we get what we want. But when you're in a relationship or something, a lot of the times what you're waiting for is based on that other person. And if they're not in the right place, then you're not going to get what you want. And who knows what the timeline is on them getting to the right place. Did I just say all that?
Wow.
Okay, I'm going to have to play that back.
Oh my God.
We just both said that at the same time.
That was powerful. Wow. I don't want to, because we got so much to talk about in the relationship aspect. I want to go back to now just in self, just yourself. When you were on the flight and they told you that it was going to be delayed, what was your first reaction?
Well, before we even took off, we were late taking off. And the pilot announced, oh, we're getting extra fuel because there's a possibility we're going to be diverted. And I texted my friend and I'm like, oh, when they're telling you out the gate, it's not a good thing. It just doesn't give you a good feeling. So immediately I was like, Lord, I can't, I don't want to do this. And then when we actually were supposed to land where we were supposed to land and we wound up landing, we did get diverted about an hour away. They kept placating us. Well, we're going to be out. We're the next ones. We're going to get that call. We're just waiting. And it went on for 4 hours. And they closed the door of the airplane 3 separate times saying we were going to take off. We never did. So I had kind of resigned myself to, I kind of figured as soon as we landed, we were going to be screwed.
Wow. Wow.
And I think there is a part of patience that is that. Like, you just resign yourself to whatever the outcome's going to be. Because...
So you resign yourself. Can that be similar to, in my head, can it be similar to numb? You just go numb?
that's probably where it comes from being in that numb place and knowing that numb place.
Okay.
And if you resign yourself to it, then you don't have to feel about it. So yeah, that's probably true.
Huh.
Yeah,
Because
imagine that.
She is really, I got to play this
No,
back
I
for
didn't.
me.
You're the one that pointed that out.
Wow. So you resigned yourself immediately after you saw the red flags.
Oh, good Lord.
I'm gonna press a button. Jesus Christ. And then what happened?
My future was up. It was out of my hands. It was up to a few other people. So that's what you do. You're there.
Just go with
You try and make plans, right? You try and make plans. I had a friend who was supposed to be picking me up at the airport, and he was being really helpful. He was looking into all the future flights. He was saying, well, you could get this or you could get that. But then as the time kept going, those flights had been canceled or they were not. I had already missed them. So it was just the human condition. You can plan, but God laughs at our plans sometimes.
Yes. Do you think it's better for us to stay in a posture of preparation instead of planning? Because we'll get let down in our plans.
Disappointment.
Disappointment.
We talked about that last week.
Yes. I want to say that that can be a manifestation of not
Planning.
being patient
Oh, absolutely.
because you're afraid to be disappointed.
And then you get disappointed when you don't get what you want when you want it. Because you're having to be patient, right?
Right.
Kind of goes both ways.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So now you have to wait, and then you have to wait longer, and then you have to wait longer. How did that make you feel?
I can't say on the air.
Okay. We're about to take a short break. Oh my God. Okay. So then after that, when you were able to calm yourself down, what happened then?
Well, fortunately for me, I had a little favor on me and things worked out okay. It was just not what was planned.
Gotcha.
What was my plan?
So I'm gonna go back to that sentence. You had a little favor on you. Mm-hmm. So it was favor really never left. It was
No.
already there.
Yeah.
It was just your impatience.
Yes.
Got it.
Forgot about my favor in the midst of my struggle.
And I feel like that's a human. Well, it is human nature for us to forget that because we're frustrated. A manifestation of not being patient. We're agitated.
Aggravated.
Aggravated. And all these other words that we can talk about. But we do forget that favor is on us and it follows us everywhere.
If we are, in tune with Christ, absolutely.
100%. Favor never left before you even got on the flight. But I think the human aspect, and that's why we really want to have this conversation with everyone, because we all struggle in this area. Mm-hmm. We all have different things that causes us to go numb in our impatience. I shared with Shelby earlier that I think that our generation and the generations behind us are now microwavable. Mm-hmm. We want it right now.
Instant.
I don't think you can make a cake in a microwave.
Oh, yeah, you can. You can nowadays. Uh-oh. You just put all the little stuff in the cup and then you put a little bit of water and poof, it's there.
Well, I guess you can't make a cake. What about frying chicken in the microwave? Oh, no, they got an air fryer now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't sound very good.
No, it doesn't.
You got to have that good old oil and
Yes, I agree.
that stuff that's bad for you. But it tastes so good.
And it does. And
Yes.
it tastes good. And it's worth the wait.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the good stuff is worth the wait.
The good stuff is
Lord, would you
worth
stop right now?
the
Good
wait.
night, man.
If you can wait
He
for
is
it.
on me today.
It is so much better for us, though, if we wait. And that's where we struggle at. So let's talk about issues in our impatience that we may have struggled in. Have you ever been impatient in a relationship? Sorry, I'm looking at the microphone. I didn't look at Shelby. I was looking at the microphone. Have you ever been impatient, maybe in your family or maybe with your children?
I think impatience runs rampant in my life in every aspect. But so, yes, I've absolutely been impatient in a relationship.
Gotcha.
But I've also been very patient.
Huh.
So there's been a juxtapose of those two things.
So you've been both. Mm-hmm. How does that work?
I think kind of like my experience with the airline, that you just kind of give in and stop fighting, and you consent to whatever is going to go on to a certain degree.
You consent.
Yeah, you just become complacent about it. Because you know that the struggle isn't worth your energy.
And it's at that point, it's out of your control.
It
Correct?
is out of your, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about sometimes the people that you're, with are not in the place they need to be. And their timeline is different than yours. Okay.
Had to give applause on that one.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's so true. My goodness, we've had times that we can look back on our lives and say, hey, yeah, I know I messed up in that. I probably moved too quick on that. I probably didn't wait long enough for that. I probably acted out of character because I was impatient on that. We can look back and say a number of things. And I think this would be a help to other people because some people are literally in shackles based upon their impatient impulses.
Oh, ow. Maybe there's something wrong with your mic. It keeps firing off these.
It's just something that's coming out right there.
But I think because the Holy Spirit just laid this on me, regardless of whether we're impatient or not, God's will is always going to be done. But when we get in the way, it postpones the plan because he has to work around us. And the impatience is a problem with that.
When we get in the way.
When we get in the way. And I get in the way on a daily basis.
I think all of us do. How do we try to not get in the way? Like, we're still human. And I don't want that to be an excuse, because we are human. How do we not get in the way when we see it with our natural eye that, hey, this is going to be a problem? Or, like you said, you came to a conclusion quickly that it was going to be a delay, that it was going to be some issues. How do you not get in the way?
That's the hard part of being human is you want to jump in and get it done, right? In your own might. Things don't really tend to go well when we do them in our own might. And that's when we get in the way.
Yeah.
And, I've been divorced about 3 years now. And I remember I did a TikTok on this a while back that I think I maybe have jumped ahead getting married in the first place, and God wasn't really involved. And then I kept getting in his way. And I know God doesn't like divorce, but I can tell you right now that he told me it was going to happen, and he told me the day will come, and this is how you're going to feel, and that's exactly what happened. So I think I got in his way.
Wow.
And then while I was thinking I was doing the right thing by fighting for my marriage for years and years and years and trying to make things better and do all the steps I thought I needed to do and change all the things and make everybody comfortable, I wound up becoming a completely enabling, codependent person in the mix. But when I got out of it, it was like, oh, I thought I was doing all the right things, but maybe I was swimming upstream because I wasn't in God's will in the beginning. And if I had been in God's will in the beginning, which comes back to patience as a 20-year-old, waiting to get a definite answer from the Lord. Is this the right thing? Is this the right person? We were just 4 years in, and it was like, it's got to be right, right? It's got to be right.
Wow,
So
ladies.
you definitely, I think, can get in the way. And I'm speaking on personal experience with that. And in it, you think you're doing all the right stuff. But if it wasn't right in the beginning, it ain't going to be right no matter how hard you try to fix it.
I agree. From a woman perspective, that I don't think you're ever, I can't say ever, it's not a lot of women that will admit that in which you spoke about, because it's the pressure that comes behind that. As men, we're heads.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
God look at us first. For you to say, maybe I got in the way, that's huge. Because I know for men that truly have a fear of God, but also know that know their identity and know their position, that's such a powerful statement when we can take accountability. That would make a man say, hey, you know what? You didn't get in the way I did, because it's still me. When
As the head.
When God was, and he knew that took place in the garden, he didn't scream Eve.
Honestly,
Adam,
he didn't.
where are you?
Yeah. And he was pursuing them, and they were running away.
Yes.
He wasn't scolding them and running away from them. He was pursuing them, because even after all that, he loved them so much.
Yeah.
He was still pursuing. And us humans were going, oh, I screwed up and I'm running.
Yeah.
Which we still do.
Yes.
I do it all the time.
Oh, and that's what we fail at the beginning. I mean, Eve was impatient, and she shared it with her husband and stuff like that. It starts from the beginning of us wanting something quicker than normal.
Well, then God's plan, at least.
Ooh, thank you, Holy Spirit. So I'm reading again, of course. If you see that particular scripture that we talked about in Psalms 40, there's another one that's in Isaiah 40. Don't forget the 40. Okay. There's patience in the 40. I mean, we can go through scripture with the
40 and 40. 40 days.
My God, 40 days in the wilderness, 40 years here and there. It's a lot in that 40. I think it's Isaiah 40:31. It says, but those that wait on the Lord. But those. So it started the sentence with a conjunction, like something else you said, it don't really matter no more, because but those that wait on the Lord.
That but.
That but right there.
That but's right there.
So I'm looking at it now from a medical standpoint. Every time we operate, that's the canary want to get in. Every time we operate in a impatient way, we're going to get a premature blessing.
Oh.
There's 40 weeks that is given to a woman.
Yes. For the completion of her pregnancy.
And anything
God doesn't do anything by chance, man. There's not, if y'all don't know that by now, there is not one iota of the word that is by chance. Not one.
Oh my God. Everything has a strategic purpose, a strategic plan.
And reason.
And a reason behind it. 40 weeks that's given to a woman so she can have a full, natural, no complication type of birth. Anything before that is called a premature. If a baby come at 36 weeks, no matter if they're fully developed, it's still premature because it didn't go to the 40 week. Is that correct? I mean, you still probably can take it home and just go ahead and do whatever, but it came beforehand.
It was premature. But that goes back to what we talked about with maturity. Premature.
She's starting something.
So you're premature because you're not mature.
You haven't matured yet.
Right.
You're pre.
So patience goes along with your sanctification and your maturity. So maybe we don't get patience until the day we go home to the Lord.
Wow. Because there are immature decisions that we make.
Because we're not mature. We're still pre.
There are premature choices based upon our fleshly desires that we make.
Yeah.
Wow. What if Jesus wouldn't have fast, but for nothing, say 32 days? Could he have fulfilled the assignment that was given to him?
I would say not, because that was not part of God's plan.
It would have been
Premature.
mature. I love this lady here, man. I'm telling you, this is so great. I know a lot of us can, or a lot of you all can be sitting here listening like, yeah, I made some premature decisions and some premature choices. It's not unto death. If you still are living and you're breathing, you can turn that thing around. I mean, Shelby kind of laid her life out. She said, yeah, I made some
And for 20
premature.
years, I've fought that. Yeah, I fought that
God.
battle.
My God. So it's not unto death. Like we can flip this thing. Now, I don't think we'll
Absolutely.
fully learn patience. I thank God for grace because I haven't learned it fully. But I do think more now in a mature way than any other way. Because maturely, I think that it's important to just think about everything all the way through instead of just surfacely making a decision. And I think society, now I ain't gonna say I think, I know society now has programmed us, Shelby used this word in the beginning, programmed us to act in an impulse way.
Instant.
Yes, everything is instant. So we were talking about how we're programmed to not have a long attention span.
Attention span, yeah.
Yeah, our attention span is
Pay
like
attention.
because it's a cost that need to be paid when you do pay that attention to something. We don't even look at a full TikTok all the way through. We skim through it.
That's the programming, though. That's what they've done to us, and we've allowed.
And we've allowed.
But that's all
unallowed.
part of the enemy. That's
gotta
the enemy's
unallow.
tactics.
We
Okay, if you are in a 30-second living mode, okay, you know, everything is 30 seconds in your life, can you have a decent relationship with 30 seconds?
no.
Can you have a decent connection with someone?
No.
No.
I'm
So-
struggling with the 30 minutes that we're doing on this podcast. 'Cause we got to come out and go back in, but I get it.
So, but that's the design of the enemy. Because if he can distract us and keep us distracted, then there's no quality in what we're doing. There's no time to have quality. Create quality, cultivate it.
Yes. Cultivate quality. We're so focused on the quick fix. Fast pace. Everything got to go, 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 go. And we're not taking the time to even read the fine print.
Who reads the fine print when they sign something? I mean, I'll pretend like I'm speed reader. Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
You know, I was buying a phone one day. I think we got a few minutes on this one. I was buying a phone one day, and I didn't read the fine print. I just wanted to go ahead and get the iPhone. So they, hey, man, you get an iPhone. I think it was a 10 at the time. And I was like, yeah, this and that and this. And I signed. And I got my bill.
Ouch.
And the bill had like 3 or 4 different charges on there. And I didn't know. I was like, wait, what? Hello, Sprint. Look, something's wrong. Nah, you signed.
The contract.
That's what I get for acting in that way prematurely and not really reading it all the way through. I've dealt with that in relationships,
No.
with that in marriage.
No.
Oh my God.
Tell me something I don't know.
We don't read the fine print. We got to read it a little bit more, pay attention to it a little bit more.
And sometimes we have to go back and reread it.
I'll let that marinate. So we are going to come out for just a sec, and we'll come back with part 2 here in just a minute. All right?
Love you.